What's good? What's good? What's good in the hood? And welcome back to another episode of the Good in the Hood podcast. I am, as always, your host, Juice. Special edition of the Good in the Hood podcast, man. Episode 33. And I got my boy Rashawn Franklin here, man. Southsider, Chicago Southside.
What's good?
What's
what
good,
up?
man? Rep your side, rep your side.
You already know, Southside till I die. You already know,
man, I was beyond privileged to be on your show, what I'm saying, last week, and it was a great experience talking to you about Lupe. I'm saying the West Sider. You know what I'm saying? It was good. It was good. It was good to have that. It was a good walk down memory lane. Also, like just,
absolutely.
Lupe was one of those, especially in our era. I'm saying so. It was good to hear that and talk about that. I'm saying it's like we talked about last week on your show. Lyricism is kind of hard to really find in today's music scene. Like it's damn near all the lyricists are kind of underground. Like you ain't gonna hear them on the radio at all.
Yeah, man, it's rare. It's more focused on beats, production, and they just sort of add they spice into the thing that's already going, the mode. So you know, it's the lyrics are gone, and then when you say our era, damn man, that make a nigga feel old, you know what I'm saying? Damn. I know we 30, but damn, like I mean,
that's the turning point. When that 3 goes into that 30 hits, it's a different. Yeah, it's official. And I feel like with that being said, with lyricism being so hard to reach hard to find these days, in a sense. Today, so we're recording this on Friday. I'm saying October 16th. And a big album kind of just dropped. Benny the Butcher, his quote unquote debut, Burden of Proof, and it's interesting because like Benny, like on the internet, if you look on like social media, you'll see a lot of Benny the Butcher and Griselda praise. To the point you'll think they're almost mainstream, but you're not gonna hear a Griselda song on the radio ever.
Absolutely not, ever.
Like I would be surprised if I ever hear them voices on the radio. I'd be surprised unless it's an interview.
I think that this Legend by Benny might be able to get some play.
Hard. I mean, here's a song with Lil Wayne and Big Sean, so that might.
Yeah, so that might get on Sirius FM. You know, it might get some play.
It might get some love, and because like even someone like Nipsey didn't really get radio play like that.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But so like it, and like we talked about on your show. I'm saying Benny is one of your favorites. You're a big Griselda guy.
Absolutely.
I appreciate Benny. I appreciate especially what he does in that group. Him and Conway are my favorites from that group, and I think he came with a solid project. I'm saying we're gonna do our first reaction because I know you are a true Griselda fan, so I don't want to steal your content for your show. So, I know you want to deep dive into Benny on your platform. So I just want to get your after like one day's listen. Like, what is your biggest takeaway, and what, if anything, do you wish you would have heard on this album that you didn't?
So when I hit you earlier, I told you I was a little disappointed about the album. When I did it, I re-listened to it, and it's real solid to the point that I think that it's I don't know if it's Tana Talk 3 or the Plugs I Met, but he tried to create an entire body of work. He tried to show his range in a lot of different ways. I think having Hit Boy with him really helped him, you know, get into some stuff that he don't usually get into because it's a different sound than the Griselda sound. It's different. He rapping over different beats, and that's the thing about Benny. That's why I think he has superstar. He's cutting that superstar cloth because he can go anywhere. You hear him rapping with Russ. He's rapping on his own shit. He's rapping with Griselda, and he's still an upper echelon artist, an upper echelon lyricist. Initially, I thought that they just put out so much content that I thought he would just slow down. I thought he had slowed down. That's what it sounded like initially. Yeah. But he was just riding the beats. He was just doing something different, and I had to catch up to that because that's not what I'm used to from Benny.
Yeah, for sure. And like my first listen to it, I went to the gym and listened to it. On the treadmill, listened to it, and I'm like, all right. And I guess definitely, like you said, a different sound.
It is.
Hit Boy has to be the MVP of 2020. Like he has to.
Oh my god, dog!
Like I mean, between Nas's King Disease. He like the Big Sean album. He did great work on there. Like Hit Boy is definitely out here trying to be a legend. Man.
So he must have had like 100 beats that was all flames just in a
I have a theory, man. I think he lost that versus battle against Boy Wonder,
and he said, "Fuck these niggas."
After that, he had to tighten his bootstraps. Like,
yeah,
hold on,
what's up?
The real, like, let me show y'all something. While he just doing them Drake records, I got Benny, I got Big Sean, I got Nas. Like, yeah, he came to play for real. And like also a big takeaway I had was like Benny. What Benny and I feel like Conway do great is they get some of these artists that I want to hear them with. Like I want to hear Benny with Ross. Like that was a great pull. Like I want to hear. Like, even though we heard the record, I'm saying already because it was leaked, but like the one with Wayne, like didn't know I needed that, but I needed that. Like I needed that record. And honestly, some of the best songs on here. I'm gonna get to one feature later on, but one of the best songs, some of the best songs on here to me are the songs where he's by himself.
Oh yeah,
like he handling it. I'm like, all right, then the sound is different, the energy is different. Like it's not Tana Talk 3, it's not one of the plugs I met, like you said, but it's something new, which something I don't really get that much from Griselda, like a new sound for real. So
and I'm gonna calm down on saying it's not Tana Talk 3, it's not plugs I met yet, because I mean I'm gonna listen to it a couple more times. Yeah, it's the first day. It's a really solid, like as second listen. This is a really, really solid project. The beats is crazy, all of that. But yeah, you're right with Ross.
The intro's hard.
It's the beats. Hit Boy is on another level. I don't know what he done found something. He done found his path. G, he good.
Man, he's real. He's real.
So it depends on how we look at these albums in the future. We gotta digest Benny's a little bit more. See how we look back at King's Disease, but these are like legit above average projects, and it's hard to produce a couple of them in a row. Some Alchemists. I mean, Alchemists can do it. It's only a couple motherfuckers that can do the whole joint, and it'd be crazy like this. Yeah,
yeah, and I mean, mentioning Alchemist. My favorite album of the year was produced by Alchemist. It's this album, small album. I'm saying it's called Alfredo.
Oh my goodness!
And the main rapper on this album is this guy named Freddie Gibbs, man. And
yes,
that guy, man. Like he just, and what I love about Freddie is like Freddie kind of does what like Griselda does in many ways, and no matter what beat you put him on, he's gonna be Freddie. Yeah. And
absolutely.
But there's moments when Freddie can just, because he's a funny rapper, which is also kind of amazing. Like he does. He like
a funny nigga though.
His IG is
funny.
His IG story like my favorite thing to watch on the internet. Like his IG, it's world star. And
you'll see a nigga getting killed. You'll see a nigga
legit. Like I legit saw somebody die on his page. Like, what you doing?
This nigga's crazy, G. What's up with the fuck?
Talking about some good crack. Like what you want?
What is this niggas talking about?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but
that's them lords, man. They crazy, but
rabbit, man. Rabbit, man. And like he said, like when the Rabbit and the Butcher connect, it's always a must listen. Them two are really good on records together. And in my opinion, I feel like Freddie always comes out the victor. And on this song, I was like, this sounds like just a Freddie Gibbs song featuring Benny down there. He on the hook. Yeah. I'm saying he got the standout verse to me with the nice Clippers bar he threw out there.
Oh, that shit was ill. I was like,
Clippers bar
I stopped what the fuck I was doing. I was like, damn.
Real. Like, could you imagine being Paul George and listen to this album? Like,
word.
So like, yeah, that was really a birth fish here in Freddie, of course, and Freddie and Benny. And I'm not going to shit on Benny and say Freddie cooked him. I say that just to get hyperbole, but he definitely did his thing and stood out a lot to me. And Benny, of course, never holds back. He always comes with an ill verse, and I would love to see them down the line, maybe them and Alchemist link up and do something. And we were talking last week actually, and how Drake might get on the Benny song in the future, and how I said that Jay-Z giving Griselda that stamp made them like it put them on a level that a lot of people won't ever get on. And I think now with Freddie being on this platform with Benny, maybe eyes might start going his way more so. Like he gets Rick Ross on this song, he get these people on this song, but to be on the Benny album, I'm saying stand out that way and have Hit Boy produce it, Those are some big names. And he has a song with Big Sean coming out too soon also.
I don't know how these guys aren't considered hip-hop wide as the best guys doing it. Like, is this something I'm missing? Because these are the only couple guys rapping like this that we have. What's up with this? Why are they not getting the mainstream focus that they would have if this was back in like the 90s? They rapping like it's the 90s because they it's coke rap. They talking about shit, grimy shit. Them Kanye, I mean not Kanye, Conway, Freddie, Benny. They grimy ass rappers, and I love that shit. Why is that not? Why are they not connecting mainstream? Do you think?
I really don't get it, and I guess like the last true grimy rapper that I remember like really being on is kind of like Jeezy Ross era. Like that's like the last, and of course that's southern, so that's like a whole different thing.
Right.
I think it's like it's also because that these dudes are 30 plus. I think that falls into it also. Like them being,
they almost 40, all of them.
I'm saying like because Freddie came out with Cole and Freddie been in this game now 11 years. Like so, like, these are veterans. So I think I don't know. It's kind of weird because even when like going back to what I said earlier with Nipsey, like Nipsey is as much love as Nipsey gets now in after death. Like hip hop heads like me and you might have been listening to Nipsey this whole time, but the mainstream wasn't fucking with Nipsey.
No, they wasn't fucking with that.
Until Victory Lap, like it had to get to the point where Puff was on the EP and all these major names was around him to get on, which is crazy. But that's just kind of how it goes, unfortunately, and it's sad. But I think if I had put myself in the rapper shoes, I would much rather be famous on a Freddie Gibbs level than a Drake level.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I like to move around.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, I think Freddie. I think they eating pretty well. Like Benny be talking that big money talk.
Yeah, he claims he's not a millionaire yet, and I don't believe that shit for a second. But I want to go back to Freddie washing Benny on songs. I don't know if he's washing him. He's winning. He's clearly winning.
He's winning. I think it's his style. I think stylistically, he just has a more appealing, like not even more. Appealing. It's not as rough. His sound isn't as rough as Benny's.
He Benny's can adapt to It's grimy. He's gonna stay in his lane. He knows what he wants to do, and he's gonna do that. Yeah. Freddie's good at adapting. Yeah. But the thing about that is Benny has to know that when people compare you to Jay-Z, and people have, and he's spoken to that. Yeah. These niggas are gonna come on tracks and try to wash you. Every time. Wayne, he heard. Oh, this nigga. Oh, they talking about Jay-Z with him. Oh, I'm about to go alien Wayne on this nigga. Like fuck this. Like you got to realize that. So when you get, I mean, he writing on West Side Projects, Conway Projects, Griselda Projects. Like it's just a lot of shit he's writing. And I know he writes every day, but it's just really hard to just keep up with that when you're writing so much. So I know you got some shit in the tuck, but I think they need to slow down. I mean, we get it now. I got enough Griselda shit to last me for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Y'all can slow down now and live a little bit and get your bars up again and then come back. You know, it's not that big a deal. I feel like they think they're on now and they don't want to get up. And I can't fault them. Yeah, it is. I mean, I can't fault them for that shit. Like when I get on, I'm staying on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going nowhere. So I get it, but they can slow down for like a couple months and then come back and do this.
And I think like it really comes down like certain rappers can pull the whole. I'm gonna drop 50 projects in a year. Like Wayne, what Wayne used to do back in like 07. That is a different kind of person. Like what Drake does, Drake has so many different styles, so many different sounds. He can make music. He can drop an album every 6 months if he wants to, because it'll all sound different. For Griselda, what worries me about Griselda is that luckily for them, they have a loyal fan base. But like to broaden their fan base, it's gonna be difficult if they drop so much music because it all has the same kind of sound.
It does.
So unless you're a true fan or a true like person who listens to the bars like me and you are, I don't think you can be captivated to listen to every project.
Yeah, I agree. They've got a similar sound throughout all of their projects. They switch it up a little bit. West does a good job of switching up his content and he did it well on this last project. But you're gonna get you gonna get drug talk, you're gonna get murder talk, you're gonna get hoes. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? But I love it. And money talk. But yeah.
And like I'm having like a war on Facebook right now because I put up that Freddie Gibbs is the best rapper in the game right now currently. Mm-hmm. And I'm getting a lot of backlash for it, but I want to hear your thoughts on this 10 I put out. I'm saying because like I'm not gonna press you to give me 10 rappers, but I put Freddie Gibbs at 1.
I ain't gonna give you 10.
I put Freddie at 1. I put Cole at 2. I'm saying Cole's my guy, man. I can't hold it.
Hold on. Before you go, is this just best rapper and you're encompassing everything, or is it like, well, how are you rating these guys?
So for me, I'm not counting like people want to count Jay-Z and Kanye. I'm not talking about those people per se. I'm talking about the guys who are active rapping, and the ones that not who are active and are also what's the word, impactful. Like every time they rap, it's a moment still, and it's it's not a legacy act. Like they're not legacy acts. Like so, like for me, like it's get to the list real quick. It's Freddie, it's Cole, it's Drake, Kendrick, Pusha, Lupe, Ross, Saba, Benny, and JID. Right now, for me, you could put Benny, of course. You could up Benny up a little bit. Obviously, this is like obviously just the list of people I listen to the most.
You got Benny behind Lupe
and Saba. I'm saying 2 West Siders.
Right now, as we're talking right now, you tripping, dog. But I made your list. You know what I'm saying?
I understand that, right? Because Lupe obviously isn't nearly as impactful as Benny is right now. But I'm saying when I listen to like when not even close. Like when Lupe drops, I'm saying you can damn near hear a pin drop. There's not that much noise when Lupe drops. As a fact. I'm saying so I can understand that one. That's definitely some me shit. I can take that L there. But I think skill wise, I'm saying it's hard to pass Lupe. Benny for me, it's this thing, right? And I'm saying I love Benny, I love Conway. Both they I want to talk to you next about. Do you think Burden of Proof is better than From a King to a God? But like, exactly. But like, it's like for me, Benny. I'm still waiting for Benny to do that, to make that push. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause I'm saying that moment because I remember being a Freddie Gibbs fan back in the day and waiting for Freddie to make that step that Cole and Kendrick made, and then Pinata dropped. With Mad Lib, but then he came back with Bandana with Mad Lib, and then Alfredo.
Bandana was a problem.
I'm saying Bandana was a problem.
They both were.
I'm saying then he had Alfredo. I'm like, this is now you're starting to add that versatility that I ain't know if you had or not. And I'm waiting for Benny to be a little bit more versatile and Conway. Like even Benny having Queen Naija on the project was super. Like, okay, I see where you're going now. I see what you're trying to do here. Like, so I'm honestly more excited for what Benny's going to do next. I think Benny can easily crack my top 5 by next year for sure. And I think Pusha T is super. Pusha T is just underrated. I don't know how, but he just doesn't get any acclaim. It's crazy to me. Like he's probably whenever he on the track, even on the track with Freddie, like he killed Freddie on Bandana. He killed Freddie on that.
And I thought that at first too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of how Pusha was rapping. Freddie's verse,
it's definitely style. It's definitely style.
That shit.
It's definitely like,
he went nuts on that.
Pusha T.
That's one of my favorite Freddie verses.
That's a tough song. That's a tough record. I mean, it's tough when Killer Mike just doing a hook. Like he can't even. I'm not gonna do a verse on this one.
He didn't even drop no hook.
I'm not doing a verse on this one. Leave y'all niggas alone.
It's between y'all niggas.
I'm gonna step back on this one. More money, I can do that shit. But let's get to the question, man. So, of course, just one day's listen. Do you think Burden of Proof stands? I'm saying next to From a King to a God yet? Do you think it's on the same playing field?
I'm gonna go back to before I answer that. I'm gonna say about your Freddie being the best rapper in the game. I can't argue with that. I mean, Freddie is on this run right now where I think he's at his peak as far as rapping. He gets on anything and bloops right now. There's nobody that I think he's more consistent than Benny. I think Benny personally, Benny's my favorite, and I think he's the best lyricist in the game right now. But Freddie, when he get on any track, you know he on there. It's like he makes a statement every time he's on the track. So you know, like you said, from Bandana to this last project, and the one before that, even the one with him, Spitta,
Fetty.
And Alchemist. Yeah, Fetty. He's blooped on. He was washing. Yeah. He was washing Spitta the entire album.
Every rip.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like it's currency to wake up now.
Yeah, like come on. I love Spitta. Spitta's he's probably over the hill now. As far as and he's into other stuff, so I don't expect him to come.
His outrun on this album was pretty solid this year, but yeah, I know what you mean. Like the outrun.
Yeah, he ain't 2010 Spitta no more. Yeah,
not Pilot Talk. Not Pilot Talk no more. Nope.
Oh my god. That's when I was really puffing.
Ooh, or Cushion Orange Juice days, yeah.
Man, oh god, you know what I'm saying?
It was an era, for real.
It was definitely an era. But from a King to a God versus Burden of Proof, I'm not ready to pick one. I love From a King to a God. You know, let me sit with Burden of Proof a little bit longer.
Sure.
I prefer Benny's rapping style, and so let me stay with it a little bit. I think they're close. I don't think it's like a complete. If I had to give a one, it would be From a King to a God right now. But I'm gonna listen to Benny's for a third time, and then I'll talk to you.
Yeah, I agree. For right now, I'm going From a King to a God, but that's also like months of listens versus like hours of listens.
Right.
So like, yeah, to be fair,
for sure.
But I think it's weird because like with Benny, expectations was just so high for me that like, of course, when I first I'm like, oh man, but it's still like you said a very great project. The expectations is like those put to the side and think about the music, and it's really a great project. Can't deny it. And it makes me ask the question because like we are kind of the first of this generation of social media, like the blog era. We grew up in that era when this shit really started changing and people started like ranking albums in certain ways, and we kind of had the attention deficit just failed beyond measure. So like we forget that we gotta let albums live before we call them classics or call them trash. So I kind of want to get your take on what you look for to call an album classic. What's your criteria?
Yeah, I was thinking about this, and one of the first things for me, it has to have an intro that just like knocks me back. Like it's got to be like one of those intros that's like, oh, he came to play. I think it just sets the tone for the whole album. That this motherfucker ain't come to play today. You know, he came. He put this body of work together for a reason to show that he is one of those guys in hip hop. And that could be from, I mean, even most of Kanye's, intros are great. I mean, Hove, my favorite Hove intro is December 4th. I think that, he basically, he came in and let you know what the fuck was going on. And set the stage for what was supposed to be his last album. But, Takeover, it's just like one of the best. I mean, he just does that when he knows it's a body of work that, and I know, and rappers will show you when they have a ill intro, they know this body of work is gonna be one of those where you need to keep it in your catalog for rotation. But that's one of them. What are yours? I want to go off yours and to talk about those.
For me, I don't want to call anything a classic unless it's lived for 3 years at least. That's like a top.
Really.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't like the instant classic thing. I really don't like that. It gotta be at least like I have to make sure if this album is in rotation for me in 3 years still, it's a classic. Like that's why like when people like that's like my main beef with like Kendrick Lamar fans. Like I'm a Kendrick fan too. I remember I heard Overly Dedicated the day it dropped. Like so like I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan too, but I remember when Damn dropped, I was like, yo, y'all gotta chill. Like this ain't
they gotta chill, man.
Like I go back to Damn, and Damn is a good album, but I would not call it a classic album. Like it just I get it. It's quality music, but I'm not playing Love and Lust. I'm not playing these songs for real. But also for me is a big component, of course, has to be the number of skips. If I'm skipping more than 2 songs,
absolutely,
it can't be a classic. I'm skipping more than 2. Like, why am I skipping? I shouldn't be skipping any, really. I'm gonna give you 2. Yeah. I'm a nice guy, but
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I should be able to play the album from front to back on shuffle with no problem, in my opinion. If it's a classic, to me, the word classic means timeless. And also for me, I think the way like features, right, with like feature guests, especially in hip hop, I think you can't get outshined by your feature guests like too much. Like, it can't be like, for instance, even on Blueprint 1, right? You could say Eminem killed Hove on that song, but Hove held his. It wasn't like Hove was, I'm saying, garbage on that. So like, that album is a classic, and of course the impact and impact of the album as far that could be for anyone, record sales, that could be just critical acclaim, like all that definitely plays a part for me.
So I have a question then. Does Drake have any classic albums to you? Because he got some skips on all of them, like a lot.
I think. All right, so I'm gonna tell you my Drake timeline before we get this answer right, because I remember I've been a Drake fan when I first heard Room for Improvement back in like high school, and then I think the project after that was Comeback Season.
Comeback Season.
So Far Gone dropped, and So Far Gone for me, I wasn't the biggest So Far Gone fan. Like, I didn't like Best I Ever Had. Like,
what?
I didn't like Best I Ever Had. I didn't like Successful. For real, I didn't like these songs.
What?
These weren't my joints. Now, there were songs on there I did like. I love to.
Right.
I love Say You Will. I love The Calm. Fear. You know what I'm saying? I never cried when Pac died.
On Fear.
I probably will what Hov does. Like, that was like, damn, that's all right. Like, so it was joints on there for sure. But Thank Me Later was a horrible album. Take Care wasn't. Take Care for me. I'm like, I mean, I still don't understand the Take Care of claim. Like, I don't get it. I just never got it. Like, that would miss me. I just never. I go back to it still. Like, even with the way R&B is developed, and I'm like, this is a classic to y'all. This is the one. Like, I think Nothing Was the Same is a very close to being a classic. But honestly, I think his classic album is going, like, I'm not sure if it shocks you or not. I think it's his quote unquote mixtape. If you're reading This Is Too Late, like, I think that's the classic.
Oh, I go back to that one at least once a year.
You know what I'm saying? That album, man, smacks on there, like, straight through. The album has
but it started with the intro. Legend was like, that's one of his best intros. You know what I mean? Like, when you get an intro, it's like, I'm not here to play with you niggas today. You know what I'm saying? So
Drake has some heavy intros. Damn, he does have some. He has some heavy intros. Even on the Views intro was kind of hard.
Oh yeah, I mean, Views. I really like Views. I don't think it's a classic. I like Views. I like, what's the other one with the Glow?
More Life.
Yeah, More Life. I like More Life, but people didn't really like those albums. I'm like, they got some tracks on it that I really fuck with. So,
and that's the thing with Drake. I think Drake is the exception to this rule. Like, even though, like, me saying I think If You're Reading This Is Too Late is a classic probably makes it not a classic. But like,
right.
But at the I think what Drake does is different than what any other artist does. He just gives you a collection of good songs, and like it just. That's what he gives you, and of course the song is just high quality. Mentioning Drake, and his classic run, like we'll talk about his predecessor Wayne. Do you think he had like Wayne, like he has like classic mixtape runs? Do you think he has a classic album?
So with Wayne's mixtape run, I kind of consider that like a couple. Like, you have to consider that era a classic. So can we say like No Ceilings is a classic? Like, I
mean, you can. I mean, if you call So Far Gone a classic, I think No Ceilings has to be a classic.
Yeah, I mean, No Ceilings. He's had incredible mixtapes. Some of the albums. Oh my God! I mean, these are the soundtracks to my college years. Dedication 2, Dedication. Even Dedication 3 has some track on it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
It's tough. It's tough when a guy made his name in the mixtape era to maybe sort of say he doesn't have any classics, because a lot of great songs are on those mixtapes.
And the thing about Wayne, right? Because Wayne kind of dominated the mixtape era so crazy that now in retrospect, it's hard to rank his mixtapes because nowadays we don't call those mixtapes. Like you rapping over other people's beats, like you rapping over other beats. It's not the same. Like, how do I compare a Dedication to Friday Night Lights when he's rapping over original? Like it's all original music. Like it's just a difficult thing to compare.
That might be J. Cole's best body of work too. To me,
Friday Night Lights. That's my favorite. I agree. I'm a Cole stan. If it's an artist that I stand for, it's probably Cole and Kanye. And I agree with you. Friday Night Lights is definitely probably my favorite album from Cole. Like that's
it's nuts.
Skips. There's no skips.
It's nuts. Yeah, it's nuts.
So let's talk about Cole then. Like, how about before we get to Cole? Like, how about the Carters? Let's go to Carter 1 to Carter 2.
Yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. So, I just actually had a conversation about the Carter maybe a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't it. So I was kind of young when that came out, and it wasn't as It was like I was just like really, really, really getting into hip hop. But to me, when I listen back to it, it's not like my favorite Wayne. Like the Carter 2, I think is a classic. I think you could name it as a classic. The Carter, it's got a couple on there, but to me, it's not necessarily a classic. But a lot of people regard it as a classic for sure.
Yeah, see, for me, that's why Wayne's one of the most tricky people for me, right? Because Wayne, I think Carter 1 is a better album than Carter 3. But Carter 3, I think you have to call it a classic is what it did, like just as far as it selling 1 million weeks in like a week, 1 million songs, 1 million albums in a week, and just the songs and the impact of 1 million, shit like that. But like I remember hearing BM Jr. for the first time.
Right.
And going like this guy is like, or seeing Wayne in Rap City in that era or Go DJ. Like I remember like that was like but I agree with you. Carter 2 was the one. Because when you push play on Carter 2 and the mob comes on, I'm out of here. Like that's one of my joints. That's one of them.
The thing about Wayne, and I'm looking at the track listing. He basically went from he would still have some New Orleans. You can hear his New Orleans sound in the Carter 1. He sort of became his own man in the Carter 2.
Yeah.
You know, it was more of this is who I am. I'm going fully about who I am. I'm not going to try to take nobody else's sound. This is who I am. I'm going to rap like Alien Wayne, and that's when he became who he was, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Money on My Mind.
Hustler music,
Fireman. I mean, that was a single, but it still went off.
Yeah.
The whole You Dig, bro.
I mean,
the Fly Out. Shooter. He went nuts on that.
And that's why I think Carter 1 and Carter 2 are better than Carter 3 because those albums are structured with that fly in, fly out, inside, walk in, walk out. I'm saying like all them joints, like it's very structured better. And like in Carter 2, he's doing like an interview on that song, Feel It. It's a very dope. He was more. I don't know, man. When Wayne after the mixtape era and Carter 3 came out, Wayne, I think that superstardom definitely changed him. I'm saying, and
could be.
And then him going to jail after that, I think, we lost Wayne a little bit in that time period, man.
Yeah,
unfortunately. And let's talk about Cole though. Let's talk about Cole, another artist of notoriety. Who's talked about a lot. Like I told you before, I'm a big Cole fan. So I'll let you go first on Cole and possible classics.
See, I'm not as huge of a Cole fan as you, and I know this is gonna be
Cole tough. For me is Griselda to you. I'm letting you know right now.
Yes, I'm sure. I've noticed that. I really love the first one. And Forest Hills Drive.
so Friday Night Lights and Forest Hills Drive? Or
okay, Cold World, the Sideline Story, okay. Forest Hills Drive, I played for years.
Sinner Love?
Born
Sinner?
I put that on and turned it right back off.
Damn.
I'm just going to be honest. And
Shane and Day?
I'm cool.
I'm
And yeah, but he for me he rebounded with Forest Hills Drive, and that's what set him to be who he is now to me. That album was the one that set him off. But I tried because I remember Born Center before you go. I remember Born Center came out the same year as maybe Blue. No. Magna Carta. And I was like, I'm not listening to this shit. I'm listening to Magna Carta.
You think Magna Carta is better than Born Center?
Hell yeah! What the fuck?
No.
What? What are we talking about here? What are we talking about here?
That is one of my least favorite Jay-Z albums.
It's not a great one. I love it. It's not. I love everything Jay-Z does. I mean, pause. You know,
I can't wait to get to the Jay-Z classics then because I want to see.
I'm not listening to this. I'm listening to this. Like I'm listening to Magna Carta for sure. One's got oceans, the other one don't. So I mean, we can start there. So,
man, all right. And hey, to be fair, I mean, I remember the name Oceans, but if you played that song for me right now, it'd be like playing for me the first time. Like that whole album, I've not heard that album since 2013. Only song I hear is "Fuck With Me, You Know I Got It" in the club. That's the only song I'll be hearing from that album. I hate that album. I hate it so much.
Oh no!
Like honestly, it's like literally my bottom 4 whole albums. It's Blueprint 3, Magna Carta, Volume 3, and Kingdom Come. Like them 4 albums, I wasn't with you there.
You could have kept those.
I wasn't
Magna Carta is really solid, man. The back half is kind of trash. I'll give you that, but them first 10 are an issue. They're a problem.
Somewhere in America, I believe that's a song that was pretty decent. I think. Mm-hmm. I think there's one called Time For It. There's a few on there, if I remember correctly. But yeah, for me, man, I don't want to get that too much energy to that album. But for me, because I bought that album over Wale's Ambition, and I regret it to this day.
Wow.
Facts. Because that's one of Wale's best albums, and Wale doesn't have many. So.
Yeah, that's a fact. So it's a deficit, though, but that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. But Cole killed that. You know what I'm saying, shout out to Cole.
Yeah, on that.
What was the song called? Oh shit, it was with Melanie Fiona.
Yeah, that's my joint right there.
I forgot what it's called. Damn, that's a hard record though.
Yeah, it's crazy though.
But for me, like I remember, I heard Cole literally since his first mixtape to come up. Mm-hmm. That wasn't a classic, but the warm up to me. I still say the warm up is better than any Drake mixtape. I stand by it to this day. I mean, what Cole did on Dead Presidents was one of like next to Lupe. You know what I'm saying, was probably the best rendition of Dead Presidents other than Hove and Lupe. So like that was amazing. Friday Night Lights, you talked about it. Friday Night Lights should have been his debut album. Like that was that album. I'm talking about I remember hearing the intro for the first time. Him saying. Partially functional, half of me is comfortable, the other half is close to the cliff, like Mr. Huxtable. Woo! I was crazy.
It's a problem.
Close to the cliff, like Mr. Huxtable. Yo, I was like, all right, Cole. let's ride. And that whole album mixtape is pretty fire. But I must say, if I diss Benny this way and talk about Freddie Gibbs always killing Benny, I must bite the bullet and say that Drake always kills Cole.
Yeah.
And of course, it's just 2 love songs like Jodeci Freestyle when In the Morning, but Drake washed them both times pretty easily. It felt like.
Yeah.
Cold World, Sideline Story. Like I know you like that album. That album to me is equally as bad as Thank Me Later. Like I do not like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Like, I damn near quit on Cole with the album drop. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
Missy Elliott, Trey Songz. What are we doing? What's happening?
I like those singles though.
They're cool singles, but like, man, what is this? What's happening right now? Mm-hmm. Lights Please was on there. Lights Please was like 3 years old.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It was like an old ass record. But Born Center, like for me, I loved it when it first came out because like, all right, Cole he rapped over the Outkast, Flip on Land of the Snakes. You know what I'm saying? He got Kendrick Lamar on the hook. Of course, we wanted the Kendrick Lamar verse. He had that song with 50. New York Times, like it was a few records on there that stand out. But like you said, nothing really hit for Cole the way it did when 2014 Forest Hill Drive dropped.
I'm gonna go back to Born Center and listen to it, but
I need you to. I need you to, bro. Like, I swear to God, it aged amazingly. I swear to God.
I think that summer was the summer that the Hawks won. It was my first summer back in Chicago. I think we talked about this, or I talked about it on my podcast before. It was the first summer, 2013, first summer I was back in Chicago. So I needed something. I think Yeezus came out that summer, and Magna Carta.
We talked about this, and you think Yeezus is better than Born Center. We're going to get to that. We definitely going to get to that.
I'm not trying to listen to Born Center when I'm trying to turn. Nah, it just didn't come at the right time for me. I'm going to go back, though.
It ain't the turn up album, that's for sure.
Hell no.
I mean, it's Cole though. Cole ain't really the turn up guy though. Like, you know what I'm saying, he might do a GOMD every once in a while, but
that's my shit right there.
Forest Hill Drive was definitely the one though, like, because that's the first time I feel like Cole came with, like, it was a sound that only Cole had. Like, there wasn't nobody else doing what he was doing on Forest Hill Drive. There was no Sandro Pay. Like, these kind of songs, the style he was doing was just all him. I fuck with For Your Eyes Only also, but I understand people got tired of them saying the Cole and no feet. Like, I think Cole has, if you count mixtapes, he has 3 classics. If I want mixtapes, I'll give him one classic. I give him Forest Hill Drive. But I think KOD and For Your Eyes Only are great albums.
Man, I tried to listen to KOD. It was just so
fucking
boring, man. I'm sorry. This is just my opinion.
I get how KOD can be boring. I get that. I get how KOD can be boring. It's very monotonous sound. He no really high energy moments outside of that intro and that outro 1985. But if you listen to Brackets, bro, Brackets and Window Pane, I beg you listen to them 2 hours.
I like Window Pane. I've heard that one.
Yeah, and Kevin's Heart is one of my favorite Cole songs ever. Kevin's Heart is a bop.
So I've been with Cole. I remember I was at UK telling people, like, listen to this guy. He's the real. Like, I've been with Cole since the come up. Like, this guy's the real. I think at some point he lost me. But that's not maybe not his fault. Yeah. Maybe it's mine. Maybe my what I wanted to hear has changed. That could have happened. My question to you about him though is, why doesn't he have more outside production come in? Because I think that could really help him.
That's the question. As a rapper. That is the question of ages. Like, as a Cole fan, like, that's the one thing I just can't defend.
Like why he trying to do the triple-double shit, dog? Just get a producer in there.
You know what I'm saying, like, because Cole has the talent to where he can be on the Drake level as far as on the radio 24/7. He has that talent.
Oh yeah.
Like a song like Middle Child, I'm saying, with T- production, I'm saying, or him being featured on a lot.
Nuts. And that's on the radio. Like, what is he thinking? Like, this is a problem. Like, this is a problem. Like, stop it.
Yeah, man, that was definitely a problem. Like, I don't know why he on that. I'm praying to the gods above that that's not the case for the next album.
Yeah.
Because, like, we're starting to hear Cole a lot with these other producers. Like, come on, you got to feed the people. Like, you got to stop making.
Absolutely.
Because, like, first off, like, for my thing with Cole is, like, if you're not producing for other rappers, like, if you're not, like, getting any other production anywhere else, then why do you think, like, there's a reason for that, like, basically. Yeah. Like, if no one else wants your beats, you know what I'm saying? like, and don't get me wrong, like, GOMD, like, the Forest Hill Drive, that was a great, but that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Every album can't be that, bro. Like, you gotta switch it up, man. It's time, because Middle Child is too hard. Mm-hmm. Like these we've heard these features. He killed the whole with 2018 with just amazing features.
Yeah,
he was going crazy from the Jeezy song. He killed Kendrick. Shout to that. You know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, what's it called? What's that shit called? American Dream. Mm-hmm. He had the shit with Rhapsody. He just had hella tracks.
It seemed like he made it a point to be like, I'm better than you niggas. I'm about to show you. So
the shit with Young Thug, the shit with Royce, like, he was just going crazy with features. So it's like, for me as a Cole fan, to always say he's better than Kendrick is tough when you look at projects. But I think for me, when I put him above Kendrick, it's more so I think he's just a better rapper than Kendrick. I think he raps better than Kendrick Lamar raps. And Kendrick Lamar has amazing flows, but I don't think his lyrics ain't I'm saying his lyrics is kind of they be whatever.
I think we both aren't huge Kendrick Lamar fans. I've never been. Just because I thought he was Lupe, but not as nice, and that kind of sort of painted him. Even but let me start. He got some slaps. Don't get me wrong. Sure. Listening to this, he got some absolute crazy slaps. I mean, that's when Dr. Dre is on your production or in the room, you're gonna have some slaps. I mean, let's just be real. But as far as lyricists go, people put him in that upper echelon.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't hear it. But
I don't hear it at all.
I can understand why people put him there, though. I mean, if you didn't listen to Lupe, if you didn't grow up listening to Lupe or lyricists like that, you're gonna think that this is something new. And he kind of did it mainstream. Right. So it was like, he's trying to he was doing it that people our age didn't go back to Reasonable Doubt. They didn't listen to the early Marshall Mathers LP. Those lyric dominant albums that were great. They just started it now, and when they hear somebody new, it's like, oh, okay, he's the real. So
I think Kendrick does a great job at manufacturing the album. Like Kendrick, putting picking the production, like his flows, like his ability to his cadences, the way he uses his voice as an instrument. That shit is amazing. But even his quotables, like when you put a Kendrick quotable up, like it isn't like no crazy bar typically. It's like, I'm saying, it's like a clever line here or there, but it's never, or it's mostly like his energy. Like even like a song like on Damn DNA, when he's rapping crazy, he's spitting, like he's spitting. But imagine if Wayne was doing that, all those bars are like metaphors and punchlines, and like he's spitting with that flow, but also it's giving you amazing lyrics with it. Like Kendrick be getting you to be the flow, and the lyrics kind of be secondary, more so than anything with Kendrick.
Absolutely.
And let's get into Kendrick, man, because that is the guy for me that I be want to pull the little hair I got left out when people tell me that this guy is like someone has told me that every Kendrick Lamar project is a classic, and I'm sitting there like, a classic?
Yeah.
You can't live without this album. Like, this album is that important that it's classic. Like, and that to me is where I want to have this conversation, especially since you kind of on the same playing field with me with Kendrick. So how many classes do you give him?
I think you have to say Good Kid, Mad City is a classic, even though there's some skippable tracks on there for me.
For sure. It is.
But
they don't want to admit it, though.
They don't want to admit that.
They don't want to admit it. Swimming pools is getting skipped every time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good single. It was on the radio like crazy. That shit was like, you could not.
Too much. I'm like, bro, it's ain't even a bop like this. Why is it on the radio so much?
But when people love Kendrick, they love that nigga. Yeah. It's something that they just can't. He just has a hold on people like that. My favorite album of his, though, is probably the Pimp a Butterfly. Again, one of those intros that, caught me immediately. He flipped the "Every Nigga Is a Star" sample. Man. That was nasty. And then it went for free, the poetry. And then he came with King Kunta. I'm like, okay, all right. I didn't really get it, but now I get it. And that's when I was like, okay, let me pay a little bit more attention to this kid, because he obviously has some stuff that I need to be paying attention to. So, absolutely. Yeah.
For me with Kendrick, like Kendrick is one of them artists, man, that, and it sounds wild, but I feel like his best projects to me are still his mixtape. I feel like Overly Dedicated and Section 80 are still my favorite Kendrick. I go back to those the most. Like Section 80 is up there to me with Friday Night Lights. I think it's one of them kind of projects. Good Kid, Mad City, I think off of Claim alone, gotta be a classic. I agree. Yeah. It gotta be a classic. Just because he kind of came in like on some like Lupe Food and Liquor like times 10 shit when he of the movement he had behind him, like
for sure,
push he had was just different. And for me, I agree with you. Like, and I didn't realize that To Pimp a Butterfly was my favorite Kendrick Lamar album until this year when I was having a conversation about Kendrick. And I'm just naming the songs from that album. Like, damn, there's a lot of fucking dope records on there. Like that's like one of my favorite outros ever. Like I remember literally being on the bus going to do our internship in Chicago at 670 The Score in the morning when that album dropped. And I'm literally on the bus when the outro comes on and Tupac starts talking. Yeah. I look around like a crazy person, like, yo, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, like this nigga Tupac just started answering. I never heard this interview, like the song before. It's incredible. I'm saying, like, it's just a great body of work, and I can't deny it. Like, that is like one of the albums that you have to just put into the world. Like, all right, this is a stamp. Like this is an impactful album. The meaning behind it, all that shit. But once again, the lyrics aren't necessarily like breathtaking. Like nothing. Like there's no breath. The bars aren't necessarily like, can you believe he said this? You know what I'm saying, All Right is a great hit. King Kunta is amazing. Hood Politics. The big Killer Mike shout out he gave was phenomenal. Complexion. Like it's amazing records on it. Institutionalized.
Yeah, that's a good one too.
You know what I'm saying, how much it would dollar cost? Like, you ain't got a lot of kick it. Like, it's amazing records on there for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then he comes out with Untitled, whatever that is, and people call that shit a classic. Like, this is literally his throwaways, bro.
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying, like these are literal throwaways. And then of course we mentioned Damn, and like Damn is one of those classics. I compare that to like Carter 3. Like, I think like the name makes his name makes that a classic in people's mind more so than the music does.
Right.
Because if J.Cole or if Wale drops the Damn album, it's Right.
You know what I'm
saying? It's like the production on Damn, like on what Ninth Wonder did on Duckworth, that's what did it for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about what we talked about last week a little bit real quick, man. I touched on it on the way out into your episode. Like, my biggest hot takes in hip hop is that I feel like Kanye West and Jay-Z both have 6 classic albums.
Whew. That's
6. And mind you heard how heavy, how critical I am about classics. So like, this is definitely an opinion that I have weighed and considered. And I feel like they got it, man. They got 6.
Okay. Let me get to Kanye's discography, because
Kanye went 6 for 6. His first 6.
From just to start. Yeah, probably.
Like he went 6. I'm counting Watch the Throne, of course. Like,
yes, for sure. Okay. I love Yeezus personally. I guess it was maybe just a time when it came, and it was just something different.
So Rashawn has homework. So Rashawn's going back to 2013 and listening to Yeezus and Born Sinner, because you gonna come back saying one of them albums is better than the other one.
We're gonna see.
I don't think it's gonna be what you think it is.
All right, I'm gonna take a look. I'm listening to Born Sinner probably tomorrow and see what's good. But but yeah, so college dropout, late registration, graduation. He ain't missed yet. 808 changed hip hop. I mean, it birthed
Cudi,
Drake.
Scott, Drake. Like, there's none of those artists.
Yeah, Twisted Fantasy speaks for itself, and then Throne. I love The Life of Pablo. The Life of Pablo is. I don't know if it's like. I mean, it's clearly probably not the best one, but it's a great album. Like it's really good.
Life of Pablo. If he were to take out like maybe 6 or 7 songs, like it's like a 30-song album, or 20. It's plus 20, right?
I think it's about like maybe 21. I love them all though. Actually, I don't think it's a skip on there for me personally.
I'm listening to Fade. There's no way I'm listening to Fade. Listening to Club.
I fucking love that song.
I love the video. Shout out to Tiana Taylor. I love the video. Shout out to Tiana Taylor.
But I love house music though. So
okay, for sure. Chicago. That's some Southside shit.
It is. And the flip was crazy. So
yeah, for sure. He killed that production. I mean, Kanye is a genius when it comes to that.
Absolutely. Well, let me look at Ho's 6. So
I'm gonna tell you. I got it's in my head. It's in the brain. Like I just keep Ho's discography in my memory bank. But for me, it's Reasonable Doubt is definite. You know what I'm saying,
absolutely.
Blueprints are definite. Black Albums are definite.
Yeah.
I already said Watch the Throne. To me, American Gangster and 444 are classic albums. American Gangster is, I think, 2 skips on there, maybe 1.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not listening to no hook for real. I'm not listening. That's not my thing.
Yeah, I don't need no hook. Yeah, I ain't really fucking no hook.
And I wasn't the biggest fan of Success. Like I know that's like a thing people don't like to say, but it's Nas. But I'm cool on Success. I didn't mess with that much.
This is a really, really good album.
Yeah, American Gangster is hard. Like that's
you
know what I'm saying? Like I've been watching the Unplugged of that and like just being all inspired. Like this guy is incredible.
There's not many skips on this motherfucker. So with ignorant shit, I think that so many people have gotten on that song and sounded better than Hove. That I kind of don't listen to Drake and Lupe. Lupe has an ignorant shit that's nuts.
Was that Friend of People? Was that Friend of People?
I can't remember what it's on, but just Google that shit. He went,
he
blooped on that shit. 444. I had this conversation the other day because I really like 444. I think that's one of his best albums. A classic.
It's a classic. Bro.
I'm not sure. I actually
if Lemonade is a classic, 444 is a classic.
I guess because of it, yeah. Well, I like Volume 2 a lot. Like I actually like Volume 2 maybe a little bit better than 444. Like it's a whole body of work personally.
Ooh, okay.
Honestly, I've been listening. Go ahead.
My sleeper for Hove, like, and people don't want to give it this, but like I remember being a shorty and buying Dynasty, and that to me is like that's like it's not a classic, but it's a personal favorite of mine. I could put Dynasty on and just only stick to the script and be cool. Like that's just one of those for me. Like I mean,
yeah. I mean Dynasty. I went back. I don't know what I was doing. I just went back and listened to all the Jay-Z shit before Blueprint, and yeah, the Dynasty was really good. And it gets slept on a lot, like you said. It's just like a slept on album that people just don't really remember.
Yeah.
But you know. Volume 2, Hard Knock Life, Nigga What Nigga Who, Money Cash Hoes, Coming of Age, the sequel, Can I Get Her, Reservoir Dogs. It's got some shit on there. You know, If I Should Die, Money and a Thing. I think 444 is because of what it signified. It was like the most personal Jay-Z has ever gotten.
Yeah.
It probably, maybe it probably surpasses that, but it's close. But yeah, I guess they both have 6. I guess you can say.
And for me, like for Hove, especially for Hove, this is a great point with Hove because Hove, like a Volume 2, like a Dynasty, those are great albums. And probably in 97 and in 2000, we might fuck around and say those are classic albums. But I feel like in 2020, a lot of that stuff hasn't aged. A lot of it hasn't aged the best. Like some of it, of course, is aged amazing because it's timeless. But like a lot of it hasn't aged the best. And for me, like 444, even though it's recent as hell, I feel like it's going to age well simply because the topics on it won't die. Like the fact that
for sure,
the Jay-Z Kanye beef is going to always be included into that album on the song "Kill Jay-Z" or him talking about legacy with his daughter, like these are moments on this album that are like, damn, like him announcing how his mom is a lesbian. I'm saying
that's my favorite song by him in like
Smile,
the last 10 years.
Let's Smile or Catch the Eye.
Smile.
Yeah, Smile is incredible. Yeah, it's like it's so many and it's very condensed and it's very. I'm saying it's straight to the point. And I feel like I'm saying that's like that was Hove like. Given another dimension that he never really showed, and it was just that reason alone, it just makes it, man. Especially after he was on a little run there of having some bad albums to me.
For sure. I have a question. Are we ever going to get another whole solo project?
That's interesting. Like, I'm not even sure if I want one. To be honest,
really,
project simply because, like. What's Hov going to tell me next? Like I feel like I'm saying like I don't know what is Hov rap about now? Like, what's he gonna rap to me about? Like I don't know if I want political Hov. Like is that like something I really want for it? If Hov just gives me features here and there on some 3K shit, I'm happy with it. If he give me an album again, I'm happy with it, but I'm not anticipating it. You know, I think Hov. I'm surprised Nas still making albums. Like King's Disease is hard.
Yeah, it is.
I'm surprised he's still making albums.
That could get him back in the booth though, listening to the Nas and shit.
Yeah.
And even being around Griselda like he's been, could. But I mean, he's still in shape. I think when did Meek's album come out? When he was on that track with him and Ross?
That was 2019.
2019, something like that. He's still. I mean, it feels like he's still in shape. I wasn't a huge fan of the summer stuff on JLX shit, but it still holds. So I'm gonna say no. I actually think that he's gonna end with 444. As far as giving us a whole like a complete solo joint. I would even take like a EP. That would be even.
I was gonna say that. I took a 4-pack from Hove. Like,
yeah,
I can see that happening. Like, I can't see Hove giving us 12. I just don't see Hove putting that energy into making 12 songs. Like, at a certain point, like, I feel like that's the problem with. I feel like with like hip hop, especially, like it's kind of hard to be a dynasty act in hip hop, or not a legacy act in hip hop, because the goal is to be as rich as possible. Like,
right.
That's what the goal in hip hop is to be rich, type of thing. While like, so like you might get a new U2 album, a new Motley Crue album, but I'm not looking for a new Rakim album. I'm saying necessarily.
I'm cool.
I'm saying like what am I doing? Like so like being our age, like I think of course we'll take a whole album, but I feel like the 18-year-old right now, like I don't think they care about a whole album.
They're not checking for that shit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's been 5 years ago, and Jay Electronica dropped the album with Hove. That shit went platinum the day it dropped.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like for that to come out this year, I'm saying for Hove to have that basically have an album this year, and to be kind of pushed to the side a little bit is crazy.
That's nuts.
Crazy.
I mean, he is a billionaire with like 4 kids. He shouldn't be. I mean, theoretically, if you take that in a bubble, in a vacuum, he should be rapping. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't want to hear any other billionaire with 3 kids rapping. Exactly. But he's still Jehovah though. So I don't know.
Like I'm at a point where I'm not sure if he'll get a Rihanna or Beyonce album again. Like, let alone like Hove. Like, yeah. Like Rihanna ain't made an album like since. They all came out the same year. Their last album was all the same year, 2016. Yeah. Rihanna, Jay-Z, and Beyonce.
I think we get another B album.
We might get another Carter's.
Did you like that album?
I hated that album.
I loved it.
Really?
I loved it.
That album got one play, I feel like.
I go back to it a lot, actually.
I listen to Friends. The song Friends get played still. And Black Effect. Those 2 songs I play a lot.
I love it.
Yeah, man. I was cool. But I'm also not the biggest Beyonce fan, to be fair. Like I like Lemonade. I like the Beyonce title, her self-titled album.
Yeah.
But like,
you ain't gotta. Yeah, I feel you. I didn't really get it. I didn't get it about Beyonce. I went with one of my exes to a Beyonce concert one time, and the lights went off. And it was like Michael Jackson was about to come out. I said, "What the fuck is happening here?" From that moment, I was like, "Okay, this is different." So I went back and listened to her discography. She the real dog.
Yeah, she's definitely the real. But like, just like, and it's no knock to Beyonce when I say I'm not a Beyonce fan, because like Beyonce has amazing albums. Dangerously in Love is an amazing album, but like I go back to Seat at the Table more than I go back to Lemonade, and I love Lemonade. You know what I'm saying? Just my taste happens to go more so in the soul R&B than a pop. Like I don't even like Rihanna. Like Rihanna's fire. Like Anti is fire. Rated R was cool. Like their albums I like from both them artists, but I'm just not a pop guy. Like so, like even with The Weeknd, when The Weeknd played this Starboy, and I was cool. I'm like,
I'm cool too. Yeah,
you went another direction. Like man. So we need to have an R&B talk in the future. We're gonna link up. More times in the future for sure. Bro.
Absolutely.
This is the chemistry is dope here, bro. I really fuck with you, man. And I appreciate you coming on, man. I appreciate you coming on. Please tell the people where they can find you, bro.
Oh man. Instagram at Rashawn Franklin Podcast, Facebook, the Rashawn Franklin Podcast, just search that. On Twitter at Rashawn Franklin. We're definitely gonna link up some more. Get this cracking, man.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate you having me on, G.
And get bros YouTube subscribers up, man. Rashawn Franklin Podcast on YouTube.
Yes.
Get my bros. For sure.
I ain't really pumped that, but I got to. But get my YouTubes up as well.
That's the toughest shit to pump for real.
It's tough, YouTube, man.
Mars ain't pushing that subscribe button too fast, man. Like it's crazy. Like,
that's a fact.
Like push the button. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, come on with it.
You can follow me on Twitter at JuiceJVP. Follow the pod on Twitter at Good in All Hoods. Instagram, I'm at Juice in the Hood, and on the podcast at Good in the Hood Pod. If you feel like joining the show, you feel like throwing some topics my way, or just debating some bullshit like I be saying on this pod, man, the email goodinallhoods@gmail. Once again, thanks to my guest Rashawn Franklin. West Side, South Side connection, man. It's been a dope week. You know what I'm saying? My dog.
That's a fact. Appreciate you, family.
Appreciate you, bro. Yes, sir.